Welcome everybody. I am the air quotes comedian, an anarchist with an aneurysm, and this is the Polemics. Welcome. The trouble with the platform you're watching this video on is that their community standards means I can't advocate for people committing crimes. If only there was a way around this. If only I could think of a way to circumvent this extraordinary act of censorship so I can express myself freely. How can I do that, dear viewer? That's right, everything I say is within a comedy routine and so can't be taken serious. You know what else shouldn't be taken serious? Laws! Fuck the laws! Who are they for? Not for you and not for me. That's who they're not for. I remember once, it was a while back now, I was murdered in cold blood, and as I lay dying I thought, fucking law against murder did fuck all to protect my life, did it? Then I died, and I was really angry about it. Oh wait, no I wasn't, 'cause, you know, dead. So, fuck the laws, let's all break them. Now, I'm not suggesting, dear viewer, that you go out and murder a police straight away. No, I think you have to start small. Nor am I suggesting, dear viewer, that you go out and manslaughter a police straight away. No, think a little smaller. Nod as I suggest, dear viewer, that you go out to where your local police hang out and hawk a big old loogie into their coffee. Welcome to plausible deniability utilising irony. Kill a cop? Did he mean it? Only my hairdresser, Susan the stochastic sarcastic stylist, knows for sure. As individuals, we don't have the power to chop the state's head off. Instead, I propose death to the state by 1,000 cuts. Little cuts I refer to as Microcrimes. Yeah, look at that, I jazzed up the title. It came up when I said it like it was fucking important or something. Nonetheless, the title has appeared, like a herald, pronouncing that we're going to get into it right now. A little dramatic flair, some might say, a little pretentious hipster pocket wank, some others, including myself, might say. What is a microcrime? Us anarchists like everything neatly defined, tidily labelled, and put into a well-ordered hierarchy. Oh, hang on, wrong meeting. A microcrime is a crime that is hardly worth the state's time to investigate, prosecute or rhyme, yet on aggregate pisses them off no end, sublime, while causing no objective injury to regular people who do, nonetheless, whine. Think of things like stealing pens from the office supply at work, as a distraction while you secrete the photocopier under your jacket, or dodging fares on the bus, train, balloon or hydroplane because fuck the idea that one should pay fares on public transport, or drawing a cock in the toilet stall. You can only draw cocks on toilet stall walls because that's the laws, and if there's one thing anarchists love, it's... Wrong meeting, right, sorry. It's a little less broken windows policy and a little more breaking windows policy. As you know, Bob, anarchism is anti-authoritarian, recognising, as it does, that any form of authority is objectively evil, a fact that can be verified with easily reproducible scientific experiments. Therefore, it is inarguable that law, in whatever form it may take, is authoritarian on its face, and I would characterise anybody who said otherwise as the young kids say, a sussy barker. Given that law is authoritarian and that any authority is evil, it is reasonable to conclude that law is evil in principle, which I just proved and can be further proven with a mere Bunsen burner, an air hockey puck and a scale model of this Supreme Court. But this is no place to discuss a totally abstract concept made flesh to control the masses while having them believe it is part of some social contract. No, we're here for the microcrimes, which is to crime what pot noodles are to food. If it was a big black flappy bird doing the teeny tiny crimes, it would be a micro-crow crime. If the same crow committed wire fraud on their old home computer, it would be a micro-crow crime on a micro. If the same crow was doing it in a Nissan Micra, then we can see how the rule of threes isn't applicable in this case and should be ignored. A micro-crow crime in a micro on a micro is a bit much. Okay, forget about the crow. That bit was too inane for words. When I say smuggler, what comes to your mind? Do you picture a South American driving a dusty truck over the state-mandated smuggling routes? Or perhaps you picture, as I do, hatted, robed rascals in rowboats wrangling rum for rambunctious reveries? Or do you picture an aged Englishman living in the US of A slinking over the Missouri-Illinois border for the purposes of buying cartons of cigarettes at an exponentially lower tax rate? Which I don't do anymore since Missouri went all transphobic, anti-abortion, and generally decided they just weren't being cunty enough. And, for any law enforcement paying attention to this, I never in fact did anything of the sort either way, nor will I or you ever again. What? But they don't actually refer to it as smuggling, it's categorised as bootlegging, which is a bit odd because I thought bootlegging was when they made alcohol out of fake Beatles albums. That's just one example of a microcrime, which you'll recognise is actually a crime and could potentially be prosecuted to the full extent of the so-called laws. But when was the last time that ever happened? To me. Never. That's when. The essential ingredient of performing a microcrime, such as letting the air out of a boss's tyres in the dead of night, with an Abrams tank, is that you don't get caught. Sometimes, though, getting caught is the very thing, such as when, in some places, anarchists and others break the law where it is illegal to feed the hungry. Yeah, what? Somebody woke up one morning, didn't they? Some official somebody, and they thought to themselves, you know what? I haven't been enough of a cunt lately. It's not enough that I went and personally added concrete knobs to the underpass and extraneous arms for park benches made out of barbed wire and hate. No, that wasn't fucking enough for me, was it? It wasn't enough when I said to little Emily, 15 years old, that her right to protest, while on the right side of history, was on the wrong side of right-of-way traffic laws. No, no, no. None of that was enough for cunty little official me, was it? I had to make it a crime to feed the hungry. Some laws, dear viewer, need to be broken brazenly because they're not crimes. There is no fucking authority on this earth that can look me in the eye and tell me not to give food to hungry people. They justify laws against feeding hungry people by affecting concerns of health and safety, but I use it as an example of why law has fuck all to do with any notion of justice. I mean, even the liberals in the area, while obviously in private will be all like, not in my backyard, but will on paper agree that perhaps denying hungry people food is maybe a heinous crime. Ooh, perhaps too strong a word for a liberal to use there. Mulligan, that denying hungry people food is maybe a crime in and of itself, before backtracking when their puppeteers and masters tell them it's for the social good or whatever. Judas was a liberal, is all I'm saying. So, my learned friends, I say to you, ironically, wink wink, how many winks until we're square and back to we have an understanding nudge nudge? I say to you, ironically, wink wink wink, this is definitely going to stand up in court, innit? I say to you, ironically, a winkety wink wink wink. Oh shit, I forgot about going potty in public. Take going to the bathroom in public, for example. A valid argument can be made against shitting on the sidewalk with no intent to scoop, or pissing on the pavement with no intent to bottle. I think reasonable people agree that an open sewer policy on the hard streets of big city is a bad idea. Fair enough. So why might my nose be put a little out of joint when laws are enacted to make going to the toilet in public illegal? In my small town of Harrisburg, Illinois, there is a Walmart, Kroger, various chain stores, restaurants, gas stations, and so far as I'm aware, the only public toilets would be in the kids' park, wherever that is. I don't know. I'm not a paedophile. Anymore. Famously, chain stores, gas stations and the like welcome non-paying, perhaps less than fragrant people with the same sort of enthusiasm as I have when scraping a dog turd off of my left elbow. Health and safety they trill and tell the police to patrol the encampment looking for anybody having a crafty leak, which is money mined that could be spent providing some fucking public bathrooms, which would actually facilitate the health and safety you endlessly opine about. But it was never about that, was it? No. It was always about you vying for the biggest cunt in the universe award, wasn't it? Fuck you, fuck your laws, and fuck you. And that's it for this episode of the Polemics. Please do not subscribe to this channel and leave the buttons alone. Mess with the metrics. That's the kinds of things I like to do.